This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
Also being heard on translator K266CC Cheyenne at 101.
It's time now for something new for you. It's KRAE Reports, a week in review. And now let's check in with our program right here on 1480 KRAE Cheyenne. Good morning. Welcome to KRAE Reports, a week in review. Just Nick and myself for today with you for about an hour. Again, blame me, still not 100%, but doing two shows, doing mine other show over in the morning over on our other station, kind of kicks the voice a little raspy. So let's move into our program. Let's go back to last week, and I know, if I'm not mistaken, you did receive a call, somebody that was not too thrilled with your point of view.
Yeah, which again, hey, go figure in politics or anything again regarding news. Hey, you're going to have a differing opinion on things. So again, it is what it is. So I expected that to be so, but kind of summarize the at least voicemail we did receive, at least regarding my point of view, was not too happy of, again, at least regarding, at least my view on, again, legalizing just marijuana. It was more so this caller at least mentioned that, hey, if we legalize marijuana, it's going to lead down the path of hardened drugs or, again, more problems, issues here in the city of Cheyenne, which, again, I wholeheartedly disagree with. But
I
either
kind
way,
of agree with her.
I don't see that correlation, but either way, it's something that, as we go back, we talked about city council looking to debate or at least put that up to a vote. Again, our understanding now past that was it wasn't so much legalizing or making it, again, a city-wide use or, again, medically marijuana, at least debate. It was more so of a kind of on the municipality situation here in town where things, or at least the city council was debating of, do we shift this away from, again, arrests, costs,
It was more
court
the penalty
fees. Yeah,
phase.
it was more so of how do we move this to, again, especially with drug paraphernalia for those over 21, of how do we move this away from ending up in the courts instead of kind of looking at a misdemeanor or kind of legalizing that. And again, that's where you get into a weird gray area of, again, how do you police this? I mean, what exactly does that mean? Some city council members did come out, again, most notably in at least in the Cowboy State Daily article, again, Pete Laybourne came out and said, what does this even mean? This is going to cause all sorts of confusion, especially if we do move this forward. So you knew it was doomed to fail.
And it
But
did.
it did. But the interesting thing as well, too, and again, did have a chance to watch a little bit of that city council, at least meeting, at least this past Wednesday, was, again, we saw some local state representatives come in and say, hey, City of Cheyenne, we're all for this. We want this to happen. And it's something that is the growth and the acceptance, and again, nationwide, of legalizing marijuana use, or again making it medically accepted within state borders.
Right.
You're starting to see those outcries and those numbers of pro kind of grow over that kind of 50 percentile. And you got to imagine, again, we go back to the article from last week that we read, where, again, percentage right now, at least polled here in town, 54% are in favor of, again, legalizing marijuana within this city, or if not the state's border. So is this something that now do we see? Obviously, we're past the legislative session. Again, it's been brought up many a time here in the state, but do we see, state go back and try to put this back into a bill? Is this something that, granted, we're going to have to wait on it now, but again, in the next election cycle, do we see that at least be voted on as a potential here within the state of Wyoming?
Well, let's go back and address what it was all about. First, it was medicinal marijuana that was going to be accepted. And again, if you had possession of marijuana, basically you were going to get a ticket for it.
Yeah, again, with our conversations,
the penalties were going to be less.
Yeah, and again, our conversations, whether it was Chief of Police, again, Mark Francisco, who did attend that meeting as well, too, this past Wednesday, whether it is representatives from the Sheriff's Office as well, too, it seems like, again, they understand the reality of, again, what is just 10 miles to the south of us, where, again, an imaginary line says, hey, it's legal here, it's illegal here. Again, they made that clear of, is the punishment as tough as it was in years past when, again, nationwide it was illegal no matter where you were? It sounds like, again, police department here, sheriff's office, whatever it may be, especially just us being close to the Colorado border, have kind of already lessened the punishment if you are caught carrying. Obviously, again, if you're carrying more than an ounce, again, if you're getting into that kind of pound ratio that we do tend to see, especially with I-80, I-25, kind of more into that cartel range. Obviously, yeah, the punishment's going to come with that. But again, for the simple ounce, or again, here it is of the drug paraphernalia, whether it's a bong or this or that, it seems like at least police forces out here are, again, limiting those punishments, which, again, understandable. And I think it's something that good on them to at least understand the times and understand the location of where we are, where, yes, you still got to enforce that federal, because, again, let's make that note that it's still federally illegal to carry marijuana. But, again, state-by-state cases, especially with us being close to that Colorado border, that, all right, we're a little lenient and understand that, again, this is not an hardened drug as some others are that are already here in the state's borders.
But also, too, Nick, and this is the thing I said last week, and again, I'll say it again. Leave it to the people, not 10 members, 9 members of the city council and the mayor. Leave it to the people to vote on it. Like you said, if the poll is true, then the electorate will come out, whether it's on the ballot in 2024 or a special ballot in 2023, November. I say let the people decide. Don't let 9 members and the mayor decide.
Yeah. Which, again, it sounds like that could be the reality coming up. Again,
and I'm sure there's going to be a push for it.
Well, and again, will you get that special election coming up again here in 2023? Probably not. Again, will it be on 24? Maybe. But, again, we'll see what kind of trickles on down from, again, this now debate, especially here in the Cap City, that made waves across at least the Cowboy State, that do we see state representatives push this and saying, hey, let's give it an option to the state of Wyoming?
Well, they're
Governor Gordon, do we see, okay, let's see if he kind of pushes of saying, all right, let's lead it to a vote.
Again, same thing too, Nick. You can't just depend on state, representation or our state senators. They need to confer with their districts. I just can't go in there and say, hey, to the legislature, we need to do this.
Okay, here's 2 districts automatically that are going to be on top of this. Again, Albany County and Teton. You got to imagine that they're right there.
Okay.
Who knows, again, with Sheridan, at least with again, around Sheridan, Natrona County.
Campbell
here
County.
in Laramie County. Again, who knows, Campbell County. Again, it'll be interesting to see what kind of ripple effect or shockwave this does across the entire state. Of, does it start pushing things forward of, okay, let's get out in the public eye and see, is this something we need to look at? Is this something we need to put to a ballot?
Like the Constitution is we, the people. The people should be deciding this, not our legislature, not our city
All right,
government.
that's simple enough. Put it to a ballot.
I don't have a problem with that.
No screwing around anymore. Yeah,
Now,
put it up to the vote and see if we're ready for it here in 24.
And if it loses, go away.
Yeah.
Okay? So, because again, if it's brought before the registered voters, I don't care if it's a 3-1 margin of red to blue. The point is, it was brought before the voters. Let them decide.
All right, that's fine. And again, but when is it going to happen? When is that going to be a reality, if at all, here in this state? Where we made the comical, at least, point that, again, this state took however long to finally enable the lottery. So it's something that, are there going to be that small vocal minority? And again, are they the minority? Again, you look at the poll, at least polls so far across the state, that it seems like they are. Again, of not favoring marijuana use here in the state of Wyoming. But it's something that, will it be a small percentage of a vocal minority that steps up and prevents this from becoming, again, a statewide vote? And I think that's only fair.
I think it would be the majority more than the minority. I think the minority is the one that you want to push.
It seems like, again, the majority is in favor of this. Again, from all the polls, whether it's the UW study or, again,
I disagree. I don't think it is. I think you're off in your numbers, because I believe if it was put to a ballot here locally, it might have a shot. Statewide, it'll fail. Trust me.
Again, I think especially with some of the more metropolitan areas here in the state, are going to push that through, or at least could have that good reality. Again, we're mentioned with Albany County, with Laramie, with, again, Jackson Hole. I think Cody could be another city to keep an eye at that would probably be in favor of that.
Nope.
Again, Cheyenne, Casper, Sheridan probably not. Campbell County, again, with the Gillette region. Maybe,
you might have Sweetwater. Here's what you may have.
Rock Springs, yeah.
You would have Sweetwater County, Teton County, Albany County. Those are your 3 counties. After that, it's a crapshoot. You won't.
Like I said, I think Laramie County, especially with the influx of, again, out-of-staters, again, especially with a lot of Coloradans that have recently moved in, will probably do look into that of, probably of favorability into it. So, again, I think Laramie County, again, you go off of that 54%. Hey, guess what? That's majority right there that said we're in favor, at least of, again, at that time of that poll. So, again, you got to imagine that if this thing does come down to it, I think that in my expectations, or at least, again, reading into the polls, whether it's University of Wyoming or, again, some of the kind of straw polls that have been doled out in the recent kind of years, but you got to imagine, again, as you break it down and look at some of the cities and the counties that would probably be in favor of it, kind of adds up that it might be a reality that if it comes down to the vote, that it might be a legalized thing. And, again, where do you start from that? I think, again, I would imagine, again, you probably look to, I do believe, again, with the likes of, again, Alaska to South Dakota, some of those recent states that have kind of passed it, again, where they started off on the medically, at least start where, again, even Colorado did, Washington State did as well, too, where, again, you kind of start out there from the medical aspect and then move into, again, full recreation use as we see down in Colorado, as we see in Nevada and, again, a few other states around, or at least a good amount of states around this nation. But I'm just saying, I think that would be a starting point, or at least that's where you would probably start the vote out of, here, make it medically legalized.
Okay, and again, I don't have an argument with that, but I'm going to tell you right now, I could predict this sitting here today. You could write it down. If this made the ballot in 2024, just for argument's sake, it will get defeated. And I'll tell you why it'll get defeated. It'll get defeated no different than the rec center. It'll get defeated no different than what the original vote came out that time to improve out at the rack at LCCC. It will get defeated.
Those are two vastly different ideals, or again, values that I'm
going to tell
folks
you,
probably,
because the voters, when this becomes an issue, the voters are going to become apathetic on it. Don't care.
I really don't think so. I think if presented again, as much as this is becoming a nationwide wave, you can't deny the fact that, again, we're seeing states left and right now adopt this. And I mean left and right. Again, it's not just the Colorados, it's not the Nevadas, it's not the Oregons, the Washingtons, the Californias. Again, those blue. Again, I mentioned South Dakota. You're starting to see some of these red states get in with this kind of movement as well, too, especially with the fact that, again, look to the south of us with Colorado. Look to, again, their economics that they post, again, on the statewide basis of, again, how much revenue they make. Again, clearly Colorado benefits on the tourism industry, at least with it being at least a part of that, again, with those skiers and all those at least kind of naturists coming out and, again, already partaking in it. But, again, the cash cow that goes back into their school systems is phenomenal, and it's something that for the state of Wyoming, you're missing on a beautiful opportunity here of, again, keeping it within house, keeping that money that, again, a lot of folks here, or at least, again, I'll just say an amount of folks do travel down to that border, down to Colorado, and spend their dollars down there. Keep it in-house.
We're pretty happy with our mineral and royalties money.
Guess what? That's going to run out soon. Again, if we keep, and again, this is something we've debated for quite some time. Again, this push for this Green New Deal, or at least this green energy here in this country, if that's the inevitable reality, and again, we got to realize those minerals are limited. They're not limited right now, but again, there is an expiration date.
But also, too, Nick, this is a sovereign state, and we don't listen to the District of Criminals. So I'm not saying that it's bad.
I mean, technically you are, because, again, you are in the same with the Fed of, again, you keep marijuana illegal. So, again, you're technically
I'm not. No, I'm not.
I'm just, again, to your point, though,
my
at least
point,
we are.
My point is it should be brought to the people.
Yeah, and again, it should, but the question is when.
Whether it's Laramie County or whether it's the state of Wyoming. Again, you've got right now a massive red wave in our legislature as opposed to blue. So
when hasn't it been a red wave? I think that's an asinine comment again.
No, it's not. It's actually a lot more red than it is blue in our state legislature. You go back and look at some numbers. I can tell you when I first got here,
percentages are pretty damn close if you look in the past.
Well, no, you're way off. You're way off.
I have looked at.
I remember Laramie County when it was 7-7, when we had 14 legislatures and each were from their respective parties, 7 each. So don't tell me about it. I follow politics a lot longer than you have. I'm just saying, here's the deal. Laramie County, either again, city council. And again, I think the city council, along with the Laramie County commissioners, need to either bring this to a vote, or the legislature, if they got enough votes, and it sounds like they don't, to bring it up for a vote amongst the people. Because right now, it's not going to pass.
And what's your basis for that?
Basis is no one really wants it.
No one.
Well,
Again,
let me say
what are the use for polls? Obviously, again,
let me
they
say
can
this.
be
I should
skewed.
say, I don't want to say no one. Let's just say the majority of Wyoming voters does not want it.
And again, you go off of the polls that it seems like majority of it want it. Again, I go back to that again. Quote that number out of that article. It was 54%.
Break me down the age groups.
Yeah, the age group probably sits with, again, at least you go from, again, legalized age of, again, 18 on plus and probably caps out probably around mid-50s or something.
No, 18 to 35. 18 to 35.
Either way, though, again, that populace that hopefully would step up and vote out, and I think that would something that would push them to the polls without a doubt to at least kind of step up and speak their mind on. That, again, I think that good swath of representation as much as, again, that population amount in the state is declining just due to the fact that folks, at least of my age group, are leaving this state for better.
Guys like you need to register first and foremost. And
I am registered, but I can't here in the state.
Well, you need to change your registration and move it here to Wyoming so you can pop off about it. Also, too, we need a change in the legislature. All right? It's a simple drill. You need to run against so-and-so for whatever district.
You have state representatives, again, as I alluded to, and again, read that article that stepped up and said, hey, we're for it. Go for it. Make that step.
Why does it not pass then? Why does it not pass? If we have representation saying,
when is the last time it's been brought up for, again, a statewide vote, if at all? Exactly. So, again, this is something that would be unprecedented of where, again, as we see more and more across this nation, again, adopt this and move into the legality, you got to imagine it's swaying more and more.
That's the nation. We, Wyoming, and again, since I've been here, we're a little different. And our values are a little bit different. And sorry, you don't want to hear it? That's too bad. The point is, I'm giving you the opportunity right now, Nick, if we can get this on the ballot. Let the people decide. Don't let 10 members of the city council, mayor, do not let the state legislature.
I get that. And again, it's something that hopefully this ripple effect does kind of prompt, whether it is a special election or, again, on the 24 ballot, that, all right, maybe we need to seriously take a look at this as a state and figure out, is this something we need to move into? Again, you want to ask again where we stand right now here in 23 with, again, the nationwide effect. Again, looks like, as I do a quick calculation, it looks like, again, majority of the 50 states have already either got it on the medical side or just fully recreation available within those state borders.
Okay, my question is to you, what is it going to come here in Wyoming? What are we going to vote on, medicinal or recreational use?
I think you got to start out, again, you got to start out slow, unfortunately, here in this state, but, again, you got to start out with the medical. Again, as I mentioned with the Dakotas, right now Minnesota, Utah. Again, you look at some of the South, again, Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Pennsylvania. So, again, you got to look at some of those states, especially the nearby neighbors with the Dakotas that, again, started out with the medical. The nearby neighbors for us, or at least borders, Colorado, Montana, those are the only two that border us that have full, at least recreation, at least ties currently right now. But, again, the number of states that, again, have not passed it, doing at least a quick count, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 states have not, 13 out of 15. 13 out of 50 have not
26%
have not legalized in some way medically or recreation marijuana. So I think, again, where you want to talk numbers, you want to talk majority of this country, and it's not blue states, it's red states as well, too, that have gotten on board.
I'm not playing red or blue here. I'm just telling you.
You sure as hell are playing red or blue.
No, I'm not. I'm just telling you what's in the state legislature right now. That's what I'm telling you. I'm just saying. Just knowing Laramie County, how it goes out and votes. And this is just Laramie County. I'm not talking about the state of Wyoming. Somehow,
if it's Laramie County, again, go back to the polls, 54%, or if that is remotely accurate, which, again, you would like to think that the polls, at least hopefully, are not too skewed. But, again, that's majority out of this county that would vote for it. let's look at the other counties within the state that would probably be for it. And again, like I said, two come off the top of my head, again, with Albany and Teton. Who knows with Natrona? I think Natrona County. Sweetwater as well, too. Sheridan, probably not. Campbell County's, again, I would say a potential.
Nope.
You look at least, again, at least without knowing the county name on the top, but again, look at Riverton. Look at that area of the state. You figure that Riverton might be pretty heavily favored for that.
I can tell you, Converse, Goshen, Platte, no. But I can walk you up and down the state and tell you what's going to happen. You're again, this poll. Poll came from the University of Wyoming. The poll came from the University of Wyoming. Was this of Cheyenne residents?
I don't know. Again, I don't have that in front of me, but
okay. So the poll, I need to know raw numbers. Who was asked? Again, if you asked 100 people, was each county represented? Who was your main crux of people you talked to?
This is back in 2020. Again, I have to read very quickly. Let's see. And you might have to at least give a little bit more. Again, it goes back to, again, that 54% as well, too. So over half of Wyoming residents. Doesn't say where they pulled from per se, but it looks like the popular support among younger Wyoming residents, with a majority of 18 to 24-year-olds, 67%, 25 to 34-year-olds, 74%. So it goes higher when you get older. 35 to 44, 68%, 55 to 64, 51%. So again, you still have classes from 18 to 64 that is still above 50%. Then it drops down where it's 65, 74, 40%, 75 and older, 30%. So that's how it kind of breaks down on that. So again, according to the UW poll, where again doesn't say where it polls from, but again, hopefully you got a swath out of every county here in this state. But again, majority says they want it. And again, gave you that sample size that again about what to 55, 18 to 55, all those at least all those age ranges were above the 50 percentile. So that tells me that again, it should.
If they did another poll here in 2023, I bet the numbers.
I think it would be higher.
I bet the numbers would be higher too. But again, like I said, put it to a statewide vote, special election.
Yeah.
I know it's going to cost the state money to do a special election, but let the state decide. Or here in Laramie County, let the Laramie County.
And hopefully,
voters
again,
decide.
this debate that the city council did here in town does kind of at least have a ripple effect within the state that prompts again legislators or Governor Gordon to at least bring up that special election, or again put it on that 24 ballot.
But the way it was written, see, that's just it.
Well,
you
I think
need
the city council
properly bring it forth to the people, okay? Because again, what we read last week, and even
what we read last week was very at least confusing on what was
that's what
happen.
Pete Laybourne said. It was very confusing. So people are going to say nay right away. Tell me what we're trying to get. Is it medicinal? Is it recreational use? Give me the full boat here. What are we voting on?
Hopefully, again, those that you elect into those positions to kind of write up that legislation would figure out, again, finer details. And I think, where you have to start to, again, on the path to legalization is you got to start on the medical side. I think you got to start slow. You can't just go automatically and go, hey, full bore like Montana or Colorado. You got to start slow. You got to look to the Dakotas and see how they responded. So
let me ask you this question. Do we do it on we vote statewide, just for argument's sake. And again, I'm playing devil's advocate with you. We vote statewide. Do we have it in place for a certain time, and then we review it after a couple of years?
No.
Or we move on to bigger and better things?
Why play this back and forth debate where, again, if majority are in for it, yeah, keep it within, again, as state, included as an amendment to the state constitution or something like this. It's something that I don't think you vote on it and then 4 years down the road we voted on it again like a 6-penny tax. No, it's something that it's got to be in place for, again, the foreseeable future. Again, it's either state of Wyoming get on top of it, or you got to imagine that the Fed right now is looking at the nationwide legalization. Again, I mentioned 13 states are all that are left right now to pass it. What's going to push, again, the Fed to just say, screw it. It's legal everywhere now. We don't care, states.
They can't do it.
I'm just saying. Again, we've seen
the
wacky.
Fed can't do it because, again, Wyoming's a sovereign state. what you're going to do if you have the
Guess
feds,
what? The sovereign state still
if
gets
you
federal
have
funded.
if you have the feds coming in and saying, "Hey, you got to do this," we'll secede.
That's how prohibition worked.
And guess what?
Guess what? That's an amendment to the Constitution. Was prohibition.
Well,
and it happened.
I don't think.
Guess what? That was legalizing
I don't ever
alcohol.
think it would be an amendment in the Congress. Not this Congress. I guarantee you, it will not be an amendment. Trust me.
I'm just saying, you said that, we're a sovereign state and blah, 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 blah. Guess what? The sovereign state still depends on federal funds for this and that, without a doubt. So, again, it's something that if the Fed wanted to, the Fed's going to do it. Again, they've already done it with, again, another substance going back in time where, again, we were dealing with prohibition, as ridiculous as that was. Again, forced it upon the hand of saying, all right,
yeah,
it's
but
legal.
that amendment was added to the Constitution by an act of Congress.
I get that. And again, that's something that, Congress would have to pull their heads out, which, again, doesn't seem like a reality anytime soon. But it's something that it has happened, could happen, and we'll see. So, again, as this nation moves forward on this, again, is it highly debated? I don't think so anymore. Again, we're seeing more and more states. And again, these are not state legislators pushing forward. Again, it's as you are stating that, again, these states are voting on.
And
that these
again,
people are voting and saying, yay.
And there you go. And again, I would say, hey, if you...
That tells me that, again, you have majority of the citizens with, again, the 300 million plus that we have in this, nation's borders. Seems like majority of them, again, outside of the 13 states, again, those 13 states include the lowest populated state here, the state of Wyoming. Idaho was named one. Iowa, West Virginia, I do believe so. So, again, you have lower population. So, again, hand in hand, that tells me that majority of U.S. citizens, Americans in this country, have already voted on a minimum of saying legalize medically this substance.
Well, you need to gather, and not you, but what needs to be gathered are signatures to make it a ballot initiative.
Because there's probably folks on the ground doing it right now.
I was going to say, you're going to have boots on the ground just simply for the fact because our state legislature hasn't passed it. And, again, our local government hasn't passed it. Or
pass whatever goofy thing that they try to do. Yeah,
whatever was written. The point is you need to get X amount of required signatures. And
which I think is ridiculous. I think it's something that, again, the state just suck it up and just say, all right, let's put it to a vote. Let's get it done.
I'm not arguing that.
Yay or nay, accept the results.
Yeah, I don't have a problem. Like I said, I think the people should have a say in it, and I stand by it.
Yeah.
I'm really tired of government telling me what to do. We vote these people in, and they turn around and don't do what we ask them to do. So, again, in this situation, but I can tell you what's going to happen, though, Nick. Similar to Nebraska, you're going to have boots on the ground, sign it, be a registered voter, and it'll become a ballot initiative. That's the only way it's going to happen because your state legislature is not going to pass it.
Yeah, well again, not expecting to, but it's something that hopefully this debate that happened, again, this past week does kind of ripple across the state. Obviously, the vote does not represent at least what is the thought behind at least marijuana. Again, according to the polls, this vote, again, was a wacky rendition of saying it was more of a municipality issue of trying to avoid court fees.
We're going to give you a ticket for having
ticket
possession.
instead of, again, jail time. Yeah. So, again, don't let this reflect the reality of probably what is the truth in this state if it, again, does come down to a vote. So, hopefully, again, this stems into that, at least, discussion from the top, again, with Governor Gordon to on down, that, again, do we look at putting this on a special ballot or, again, the 24 ballot? Hopefully that is the case coming up, again, with what happened here in the Cap City.
All right, let's take a break. More Cheyenne news concerning the Cheyenne Animal Shelter when we come back. You are listening to KRAE Reports, a week in review right here on 1480 KRAE.
Greece is cheap.
But the airfare costs a fortune.
Paris?
Not much closer, and again, airfare...
What about Puerto Vallarta?
Let's face it, flying anywhere is just too expensive.
Wait, what's this? Low-cost airlines.
With one call to low-cost airlines, you'll drastically slash your travel costs. We're talking insanely low airline prices to any of your favorite destinations. Where would you like to go? London, Rome, Costa Rica, Australia?
Wow, that's cheap.
So why wait? Call now to learn how crazy cheap it is to fly anywhere in the U.S. or international. Our prices are so low, we can't publish them. The only way to get them is to call to instantly hear the most amazing best deals on airline travel. It's that easy. So call now and start packing.
800-298-5783. 800-298-5783. 800-298-5783. That's 800-298-5783.
Message is for Shauna, my mom, who just finished her high school diploma. I wanted to say I'm so proud of you for finishing school. You told me it's never too late to achieve your dreams. I hope to make you as proud as you have made me.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
It's Lee at Absolute Flooring. Have you been waiting for the right time to put new flooring in your home? Wait no more. Mohawk Spring Floor Adore sale is here. With a huge selection of flooring products, styles, and colors, this sale will make your new floor happen. And what Mohawk doesn't put on sale, Absolute Flooring will. With no interest financing, experienced flooring consultants, and the best in professional installers, it's time to make your way to Absolute Flooring in the Cheyenne Plaza. And visit us at AbsoluteFlooringWYO.com. Remember, it's your home, your floor, your store, absolutely.
Your locally owned and operated radio stations, KYOI FM and 1480 KRAE AM, are just that, local. Serving Cheyenne and Laramie County, where your advertising dollar stays local too. It doesn't end up in Colorado, Oklahoma, New Hampshire, or even New York. We conduct business here. We shop here, and we live here. And we support our entire community 24/7, 365. Just because it has a window dressing doesn't mean it isn't a facade. A reminder from KYOI and 1480 KRAE.
Do you have Medicare and do you use a CPAP machine? This is a national healthcare alert regarding your CPAP supplies. Using a clean CPAP mask and clean supplies is important to staying healthy. The best way to make sure your CPAP equipment is clean is to get new supplies. If you have Medicare, we have great news. Medicare will pay for you to have new clean supplies every 90 days. We'll even do all the paperwork for you to make sure that there's little to no out-of-pocket cost to you. And you don't even have to leave your home. We provide free in-home delivery. So if you're a CPAP user and you have Medicare, staying healthy with new CPAP equipment is easy. Just make this free phone call right now to get started.
Sponsored by Specialty Medical. 800-245-3098. 800-245-3098. 800-245-3098. That's 800-245-3098.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
Weather-wise for today, mostly cloudy, snow likely until this afternoon. Blustery conditions expected, daytime high near 28. Total daytime snow accumulation 3 to 5 inches possible. For tonight, partly cloudy, with a pretty good chance of snow this evening. Blustery conditions are low down to 13 degrees. Mostly sunny for tomorrow, expected daytime high near 39. Mostly cloudy Tuesday night or low, drop it down to 19 degrees. And we welcome you back to KRAE Reports, a week in review. I'm Larry Perlotti, along with Nick Perlotti. The Cheyenne City Council, along with the mayor, has reluctantly changed their mind because they do have some misgivings. And again, this also needs to be taken care of by the county commissioners. But Cheyenne changed its mind on the animal shelter.
And this is something that has been going on for weeks, if not months right now. Again, this whole back and forth with the city council and, again, the Cheyenne Animal Shelter working contract was up.
3-year deal.
Again, initially it sounded like Mayor Collins was saying, hey, we're not renewing it. Go fend for yourselves. Go figure it out. It was something that, again, highly debated. A lot of folks unhappy by that decision, but for those who are in favor of the Cheyenne Animal Shelter, and again, respect what they do. Again, I've had my own issues with the animal shelter, again, regarding OSO as well, too, with, again, just how they handled the whole situation was a little ridiculous, especially around the pandemic time. But it was something, it was a great debate. Again, should the city continue to fund, or at least add funding to, again, Cheyenne Animal Shelter, or should they not? Where, again, we go back about 2 weeks ago, the animal shelter was fending for themselves. They were going to have to rely on donations and such as. But now city kind of backtracked and said, okay, we'll do it. So kind of an interesting flip-flop move here by Mayor Collins and, again, the city council. But,
well,
again,
I think the not so much the flip-flop, Nick. I think the numbers came in because that's what they were wondering. Where's all our money going?
And the numbers, again, do speak volumes where, again, for years past, it was about, what, $300,000 was just, again, all that was needed from the animal shelter, or at least what they were requesting from the city. Now is kind of over the past couple of years upped itself to, again, estimated about $850,000 per year for the contract. So, again, that's kind of a significant jump. Again, there's been talks about, or at least inquiries about, again, salaries, which, again, I do believe representative from the Cheyenne Animal Shelter has come out and said that, again, salaries regarding inflation again, have prompted, again, more monies at least requested for, again, keeping those employees and doctors. Again, Cheyenne Animal Shelter as well, too, does offer kind of hospital needs for, again, animals as well, too, again, with Oso. When I did get him, did have him, at least they took care of him getting neutered. So they do have the veterinarian at least option there at Cheyenne Animal Shelter. But again, facilities, all this money. Again, it was a significant per year request increase that obviously for the city of Cheyenne, for that city council, including Mayor Collins, will probably stop and pause and going, why the hell is it so high now?
But again, too.
Or how the hell did it get so high?
Well, again, it goes back to inflation. These folks that are working there need to make a living too.
Yeah, with that.
So they got to get some type of cost of living increase. Again,
and it's not even just salaries. It's, again, maintenance. Obviously, it's included with, food, water, for, again, all resources as well, too, again, for vaccines. Again, I know that, again, picking up Oso, I think they took care of vaccine, microchipping him, even though they did it twice to him. But, again, at least they took care of all that. And, obviously, those are resources. That's all that.
And none of this stuff is cheap anymore.
Yeah, again, dog food as well, too. Again, very expensive.
Yeah, and a lot of people right now are making that decision. I'm glad you brought up dog food. The cost of dog food is unbelievable. Now you're wondering, do I feed myself? Or, do I keep a pet on hand?
And again, it depends on at least the brand and the bag. Again, for a large dog like him, again, I buy the largest bag you can buy, which, again, is around that 50-pound mark. You can find, again, at least for me shopping over at least at the Walmart side, again, I think recently found a bag for about $35 that, again, is not the cheap end, or at least it's something that, again, meets his needs, again, vet approved. So, again, $35, and again, that lasts for a big dog like him, what, a good month and a half. So obviously there's different needs, different wants for different animals.
Let's get back on track with the animal shelter. Again, everything has gone up at the animal shelter. Heating.
Well, everything around everywhere is gone up.
So again, the animal shelter is under the same scrutiny as I am with with Black Hills Energy. Electricity's gone up, water's gone up. Okay, the animals that are being dropped off. There's been an uptick in animals going there. Now, the Cheyenne Animal Shelter also tries to raise money.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
I mean, they don't just take the $800,000, say, "Hey, see you later, I'm out of here."
It gets a lot of public funding. Yeah.
Yeah, they got a lot of donors, and there's a lot of folks that will stand behind the animal shelter. But you don't hear a lot of people griping about it.
No, and again, obviously there's a lot of costs, and again, a lot of that money goes in, but it's not enough to cover the full, at least those donations that go in, again, do not fully cover the expenses for the Cheyenne Animal Shelter. But this is something that, again, contract has been renewed for 3 years. Let's make that note. Again, at that $850,000 range. They mentioned as well, too, from Mayor Collins as well, too, regarding this situation is that after year 3, it's going to be put up, again, on the 6-penny, at least ballot, at least choice. So, again, that'll be added to that tax, and that'll be up to, again, the city, at least citizens of Cheyenne and Laramie County, or at least Cheyenne, to at least kind of move forward with that 6-penny tax, which, again, now will include funding for the Cheyenne Animal Shelter.
And also, too, I think what Mayor Collins is wanting the animal shelter to be accountable. This happening with the animal shelter is no different than what's happened to the DDA, Downtown Development Authority. They've come and said, "Hey, we need more." Well, show us what you're doing.
Yeah.
Empty buildings. What's going on? Talk to me. Same thing here with the animal shelter. Hey, we need a little more. Show me
why.
Show me why. Yeah, give me an account. Give me accounting of what's going on.
And again, this is the back and forth, again, great debate that's been going on right now for the Cheyenne Animal Shelter and, again, with the city of Cheyenne, or at least city council, that, again, at least Cheyenne Animal Shelter has come out and said, hey, we have been open and honest. Here's our tax return, but regarding the tax return, doesn't fully show where every dollar goes. Again, it's a good amount, but not every single dollar. So that's kind of what Mayor Collins is kind of requesting, or has been requesting, of he wants the full detailed of why is this all of a sudden more expensive, $500,000 more expensive than what we were doing a couple of years ago. So.
Well, and then you start getting into salaries. So you got a CEO out there. I don't think she's garnering this tremendously huge deal. No, I don't believe it. I really don't. If she's making more than the mayor, then I got a problem.
Then you got an issue, yeah.
Yeah, I got an issue. So
could it be a reality? Again, not saying that it is, but again, you see other CEOs and nonprofits, or again, kind of institutes like that, again, do abuse that system. Not saying she is, but again, I guess in my opinion, it wouldn't surprise me if, again, salaries, or again, that full funding or full pay structures, again, the funding comes out from the Cheyenne Animal Shelter. But either way, though, it's something that everything that the animal shelter has come out and said, that, again, inflationary costs, building upkeep, cost of food, cost of water, cost of this and that, salaries, or at least for those, again, whether it is on the veterinary side, or, again, those who, again, help you kind of choose an animal over there. Again, obviously, again, rent has gone up here in this city. Again, grocery costs, gas. Granted, it's kind of gone up and down, but either
more
way,
animals are being
without a doubt,
delivered to the animal shelter.
It's something that, again,
food.
The need for more money, again, regarding inflation is a valid excuse in this day and age where it has hit all of us. It's hit every industry.
But listen to this, and this is the shelter's tax reports. This shows the fiscal year ending in 2018. Then CEO Robert Feck, friend of mine, took a salary of $67,776. Again, less than the mayor. CEO Donald Kremer took a salary of $52,655 the following year. And the year after that, then CEO Sue Castaneda received $65,420, according to the tax report.
So it's not an exorbitant amount.
Yeah, I don't think the salaries right now are the issue. I think the underlying accounting needs to, and again, they've shared some financial information with the city. Again, it's like when I do my taxes. I got to account for every nickel, penny spent and taken into this place. That's what they need to do. They got to be a little more transparent. I'll use that word on their finances, but also too.
And I think they probably will after, again, now getting this second chance at life, so to speak, with, again, Mayor Collins and the city council basically saying, hey, we got your contract.
And they also need to fundraise a little bit better. Because
again, how tough is that? Where, again, you're competing, you're one entity of many. Again, we've had them on, whether it's United Way of Laramie County, again, a lot of nonprofits here that exist in Cheyenne.
But you have a good core of donors.
Yeah, without a doubt. But again, we talk inflation. You got to imagine that their pocketbook's a little bit tighter in these day and ages where, again, how much you donate probably could stay the same, if not getting less.
And maybe that was taken into effect.
Yeah.
Maybe that was taken into account. Okay? They have their fur ball, whatever they call it, every year. Maybe, and I would venture to say that it probably will be a sellout, but also, too, maybe numbers are down.
Yeah.
I don't know. But the point is, they have to be transparent on every nickel that comes in. They have to be transparent on every nickel that goes out. So somewhere, somebody dropped the ball. Let's just say, for argument's sake, with the Cheyenne Animal Shelter, and that prompted the city council to go, wait a minute, I'm not going to. I'm not jumping on board until I know everything.
The concern from Mayor Collins and the city council is warranted, just due to the fact that, again, where this price increase comes with this new contract, that, again, warrants of, I want to know where this is going to.
Again, 200+% raise.
This is money that could be, potentially, if you're misusing it, to other situations. Again, fixing roads. Again, most notably, again, we look at the situation right now on 12th Street, where, again, we're trying to fill a damn hole that's full with, again, rocks right now. But I'm just saying, again, I get the warranted, at least, wanting of transparency by the city council. I get it. So it's something that hopefully, again, moving forward now with this new kind of breath of life right now for the Cheyenne Animal Shelter with the new contract for the next 3 years, that it was a misstep here of recent, and now moving forward, okay, here is the reason why we need this 800.
When you're asking for a 200+% increase. But again, too, I could sit here and look you in the eye and say, my fuel bill, my heat and electricity is up 33% over last year.
Yeah.
Okay, my gasoline costs, even though they are relatively coming down, but still, you got to have fuel for, quote, the dog catchers here. And again, prices have gone just skyrocketed. Again, animal food for dogs, for cats, what other animals they care for at the Cheyenne have all gone up. And again, what I'm looking at,
and make note
I don't think the CEOs and the staff are taking piles of money and putting it in their pocket. I don't believe
that.
But
they definitely, again, especially for those under the CEO kind of ranks, again, definitely deserve at least kind of a livable wage, especially in this day and age right now where, again, a problem that has existed since the pandemic, again, has been housing. Housing has been on the uptick every single year. Again, it's been a crisis that has not been yet solved by the city council or, again, these special interest groups or whatever it may be here in Cheyenne. So it's something that I get it. I'm just saying.
I can live on $5,000 a month.
Not many can.
I can.
I'm just saying not many can, especially with rent and with, again, the cost of a house, who knows, whatever it may be. But, again, that's to their own. But, again, the uptick, again, for those under the CEO kind of ranks, again, do they deserve, again, a livable wage, or at least what the animal shelter at least thinks is? Again, I get it. Again, it comes with the times, with inflation. That is hitting all of us at this point in time. So it makes sense. Again, Cheyenne Animal Shelter as well, too. Let's make note of recent over the past couple of years. This is also to a shelter that has had uptick in at least receiving animals just through the fact that, again, a couple of these farms that have had a lot of these dogs. Again, go back, again, what was that, about a half a year ago, if not even more recent? Again, that one farm within the Laramie County ranks that had a bunch of dogs. Taken away from them because, again, it was mistreatment. All got absorbed within the animal shelter, and obviously they have to use those resources to, again, take care of those animals and try to find them new homes.
Well, they're also, too, and I think this would be just me, they're also anticipating, hey, we may need a rainy day fund here.
Yeah.
And again, too, when they go out and do the fur balls and all that, that goes into their coffers. Now, from there, I don't know where it goes, okay? So, again, they're making their money. You know, I think what they're trying to do is match funds that the city gives them. Because, again, it's not going to cost $800,000 to run.
Well, no, yeah, it's matching public funds.
It's going to cost at least seven figures to run that facility for the full year. So, again, I sit here and I'm not throwing any stones.
Well, I think, again, CEO came out from the animal shelter saying requested about $1.25 million, next year about $1.74 million. So, again, obviously, at least donations, public funds, going hand in hand with, again, the contract with the city.
And they're also keeping tabs of what's going. Really, if you have a good accountant or somebody that's, smart in the economic world, they're probably keeping an eye on the economics, inflation, because inflation has gone up since the pandemic. It has skyrocketed. So, again, dog costs, maintaining the dogs. People, again, I'm sure they have X amount of people on staff. They got to make a livable wage, too.
Yeah.
You got to keep staff.
Yeah.
And you can't have that turnover. That turnover costs you more money than anything.
Yeah, as we're near the top of the hour, and I was hoping we get at least a full 2 hours in today because, again, we still have a lot more to talk about.
Tell my voice is going by.
But either way, though, again, to kind of summarize this whole situation, again, the back and forth, again, it has been settled, 3-year contract for the Cheyenne Animal Shelter. Again, I think that's the best thing to come out of this, that, again, Cheyenne Animal Shelter will get their funds. Again, we'll still continue to operate, still at least have that option for those to adopt and, again, go help out, volunteer, whatever it may be for the animals that, again, it's not their fault, again, why they're in that situation. The animals had nothing to do with it. So good, at least on the city and the animal shelter, to get this done and moving forward for the next 3 years.
The county's got officially
Yeah,
approve
the
it, too.
county's got to get it at least kind of work things out, but you got to imagine that they will, hopefully. Again, we'll see what the timeline is for that. So, again, contract's done. Thankfully, again, the only outcome out of this is that I would assume that for the city council, Mayor Collins, that get a little bit more transparency on, again, where the funds are going for the animal shelter, which you got to imagine probably will, hopefully will, but we shall see. But either way, again, they're locked in for the next 3 years. After, again, year 3, from what we know is, again, the animal shelter will be included on that 6-penny tax, which, again, city voters will at least vote upon if, again, yay or nay on that. So,
And, I could tell you right now, I could look ahead and tell you that the city will vote on it, because they're going to pass that 6-penny tax. So if they're going to be a part of that 6-penny tax, monies are going to go to them too.
No.
Again, I just don't see the city ever shooting that down.
No. Again, will this on top of everything that the 6-penny tax covers, will it again be that tipping point that again eventually the voters say no? I don't think so. So, again, it makes sense. It'll probably keep on moving forward. So, again, for the city, that's how it stands now. If we get new mayor in, again, will that change if, again, Mayor Collins is not reelected for whatever reason? Again, does it change for the Cheyenne Animal Shelter? Again, who knows? Again, it's a 3-year contract, and we'll see what the future is. So, again, at least for now, for the next 3 years till 2026, Animal Shelter is good. They got their funding.
All right, we are going to wrap things up again. Apologize that I'm still not 100%. I'm working on it, trust me. We will be back at it again tomorrow. We will have for you our sports talk, the pro show, Larry Perotti, Nick Perotti, and we will have slated guests joining us.
Yeah, so right now we'll talk UW Cowboy basketball and transfer portal, again, with a lot of names with 7220sports.com founders Cody Tucker that we've had on the show a couple times. We'll also talk with Cheyenne Post 6 manager Ty Lane. They had their spring contest down in Colorado as they gear up for, again, the start of the season, which, again, will be in the month of April. Hopefully, again, we'll see as, again, it's just no end in sight for winter time. But we'll talk with manager Ty Lane. We'll also talk via phone. LCCC women's basketball head coach Ayanna McWilliams will look back on the season, again, hitting that 20-win mark. And, again, their at least run in the Region 9 tournament, which unfortunately came to an end to that Casper Lady Thunderbirds team that eventually did make it onto the national tournament. So we'll talk with her. So that's coming up tomorrow, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. here on 1480 AM, 101.1 FM, 1480KRAE.com on the audio side. Video live streaming as we do on the 1480KRAE YouTube channel.
Speaking on the national scene, just real quick, throw it out there. Mountain West being represented in the Final Four. San Diego State.
Yeah, again, go figure that no number 1 seed has moved on, so we probably won't talk about that tomorrow. But
how
again,
many
Wednesday,
brackets do you think have been destroyed?
Mine got destroyed when Houston lost, so either way, this has been a wacky March Madness, but that's what you want. Where, again, there was no clear favorite. San Diego State, for the first time in that school's history, again, makes it to the Final Four, so they would be one of three potentially to win a national championship here in the Mountain West Conference, UNLV being one, Wyoming being the other. So, again, San Diego State looking to at least represent the Mountain West Conference, even though, again, for next season, they're out of the Mountain West Conference.
Yeah, but you know what? Right now, though, they got to share with the Mountain West half of what they're making, and we're talking now 7 figures plus.
Obviously, the conference is saying, and hey,
see you later.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Thank you
for
the
money.
check.
Yeah, so we probably won't talk about that at least tomorrow's show, but again, probably on Wednesday's show. So, but again, tomorrow we'll focus on the local side again with LCCC, University of Wyoming, same with Cheyenne Post 6. Not a lot going on here in the Cap City, or at least here in the state of Wyoming, just due to the fact that, again, winter's still sticking around. Softball was played, but very minimally. Soccer kind of got underway, but again, it's been shifted back and forth. So a lot of issues here to start the spring sports on the high school side. So it's kind of tough to talk on the local.
And from our friends at YDOT, and there was part of the story that we didn't get into, but again, from our friends at YDOT, ice and snow, please take it slow.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it. Like you said, winter will never, ever go away here.
Regarding this program as well, too, again, we will not have a show next week. We probably won't have shows in general next week, as I'll be still out in Los Angeles, at least for WrestleMania weekend. That Monday I'll be at the Crypto.com arena, at least for the Monday Night Raw program. So, again, I'll be at least my once-a-year kind of venture now, as I made it 3 years in a row, at least tuning in WrestleMania alongside with my girlfriend. So I'll be out there. So, again, no show KRAE Report, same with the Pro Show next week, Monday through Wednesday, just due to that fact. Regarding this program for today, again, does re-air, as again, it was only a 1-hour program. Will re-air later on today, 4 to 5 o'clock here on 1480 KRAE, 8 until 10 o'clock tonight, Golden Age of Radio, All-Star Western Theater, along with also two programs on Meet the Press. So looking forward to that. Again, last week, I think on Meet the Press, again, it's old-timey interviews with, again, historical figures. I think at least last week we had a couple interviews regarding Richard Nixon, also who I think at the time, Senator John F. Kennedy, so again, before he became president. So again, kind of intriguing to hear those historical figures before they became well known on the bigger scale.
All right, that's going to wrap up our program for today. So, again, for KRAE Reports, I'm Larry Peroletti, along with Nick Peroletti. We now return to your regular programming